Blessed day, everyone, and welcome to Itswhenlightningstrikes. If this is your first time joining, welcome to the circle. My name is Grace, and I will be your host. Today, we are going to start on teaching 6 of the grandfathers, which is truth as taught by Turtle. So this is our phenomenal relative in the natural world that you're going to want to be studying and researching and learning about in order to understand the medicine that they share, which is going to go far above and beyond what we're actually going to be talking about. So I hope you dedicate yourself to that. So let's start by figuring out what the truth is. What the truth is not is a lie or an untruth. So this we know. The truth is based in reality and actual factual evidence. And the truth is definitely different to everyone, which is something we'll be talking about tomorrow when we're ferreting out our own truth. But let's look at how Turtle teaches us about the truth and walking in truth, standing in truth, living in truth. In order to understand this part of Turtle's medicine, we need to focus our studies on his shell. So Turtle is born, it's an exoskeleton. His skeleton is on the outside of his body, and this is his shell. And on his shell, in general, for most turtles, they're born with 13 natal scutes, which are in the center, and then surrounded by 28 smaller scutes on the perimeter. Now, because Turtle, can't take this shell off and get a bigger one as he grows, the shell has to grow with him. And so this is accomplished by newer and larger scutes growing underneath the natal scutes, basically. And so what you end up with over time is what looks like the rings in a tree, except these are rings around scutes. And so we know the rings in trees tell us any number of things: the approximate age of the tree, depending upon the space between the rings or how wide the rings are. This is going to tell us things like times of rapid growth, times of no growth, times of very little growth, which would correspond with, times of plenty or times of scarcity, optimal conditions versus adverse conditions. And so these rings tell a story or the truth of this being's life. And this is the same with Turtle. So if we look at the scutes and subsequent rings, we can look at this the same way we look at the rings in a tree. An approximate age can be determined, as well as times of plenty, times of scarcity, times of rapid growth, times of very little growth. It goes on and on and on. So what this shows, and what Turtle is showing us right here, is that, this is the truth of his life. And he has this on at all times. I mean, we can all see this if we look at his shell, that he is literally wearing, walking in, standing in, sleeping in, swimming in, foraging in the truth of his life. So this is one form of the truth, and we all have, even as humans, the truth of our life. And we really kind of have to embrace that, as awful as some of it might be, as trying as some of it might be, as beautiful as much of it might be. Every aspect of our life needs to be embraced, because it's all the truth of our life. And so Turtle shows us what it means to literally live in your truth, the truth of your life. And this is something a lot of humanity avoids. And, you know, the truth is just the truth. And if we can stop running from it, and just come in a space of neutrality, and embrace all aspects of it, whatever it might be, you know, it's at that point where it can cease being bad, it can cease being good, this duality sort of situation, and it can just be. And when it can just be is when you can really start embracing it and learning from it. And if you can learn from it, especially the, you know, less attractive parts, or the trying parts, or the awful parts, or the horrendous parts, the ugly parts, those are the most important parts to be learning from, so that you can move forward in a better way. And so this is the importance of living in your truth, which is what Turtle is teaching us, because he literally lives in his, quite in the most literal sense. So the truth of things can really not be denied. I mean, you can kind of deny them, but, you know, you're really not denying them, because somewhere inside of you, you know what's really true. And it doesn't matter if you run from it. It doesn't matter if you hide from it. It's always there. And so it's just really better to embrace the truth of things than to, you know, be an ostrich with your head in the sand, you know, hoping that it's all gone by the time you have to come up for air. So we seem to have a lot of people that are ostriches with their heads in the sand, and that doesn't get us anywhere, and it doesn't solve any problems. And so the importance of the truth, it just can't be emphasized enough, because we can't have real solutions or find real solutions to anything if we don't have the truth of whatever it is we're trying to find a solution for. So if we're finding solutions that are not reality-based and fact-based and truth-based, you know, we're really just wasting our time trying to find solutions and implement solutions for a problem that we don't know the reality of. So the truth is a big deal. Become a big fan of the truth, and you won't be sorry that you have. So our personal truth, everybody should have a personal truth. And we're really going to get into that on the next video, because we really need to unravel what a personal truth is and how to find it. And we all have to find our own personal truth. And so we'll get into that in its own specific video. So study our relative turtle. He has so much medicine to share. He can be a little bit difficult to work with because he moves at his own pace. And so if you think you're going to be rushing through anything, I would encourage you to think again, because Turtle has a way of really putting the brakes on hard. So go into it just knowing that it's a journey, not a race. So I thank you for joining me today on the channel where lightning is bound to strike. Until we come together again in this circle, please be well.